All right, so this is going to be a rough draft. Okay, so the thing is, the fact that second time around Trump is battling Joe Biden for the title of the president of the United States, for his second term, and he decides to back out of the race and let Kamala run instead in his place. That's what lets you know that at the end of the day, that 2020 election was fucking rigged. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. You can't tell me any different, because the thing is, man, listen, before 2020 with the pandemic, everything was going great. Gas prices were low. The economy was doing well. Black unemployment has been the lowest it's ever been under the Trump administration. But now the thing is, this fucking coronavirus shit kicked in. The thing is, man, I believe that this coronavirus shit, like they call it a pandemic. I think it was a plandemic. They fucking planned this shit out in order to ruin everything that Trump has built for the economy. Because the thing is, we were in a deficit. We were in an economic deficit before Trump was in office. Trump went into office. We started getting back on our feet. The economy was running smoothly under the Trump administration. Now, everything got ruined with the coronavirus shit. They made it to where millions of Americans have lost their fucking jobs, and the only people that were allowed to work were essential employees, meaning that the huge corporations, they were the only ones allowed to work and make money. And the mom and pop businesses, entrepreneurs, all of them, they couldn't work. They had to sit back and be dependent on the government. They were losing money, paying, like, rent was fucking kicking everyone's ass. People were relying on stimulus checks to get by. It's just horrible, I mean, that coronavirus fucked everything up. And I think that they did that shit on purpose just so they could be able to turn around and blame Trump for the fall of the country. When the thing is, man, these motherfuckers were against Trump wanting to build the fucking wall. Now that the pandemic happened, now they're just like, oh, well, how come Trump didn't close the borders to keep the outsiders from, coming in and infecting all of us with this pandemic? Like, well, first of all, you wanted open borders. Now that the borders were open, now you're going to blame Trump for not closing the borders, which is what he wanted to do in the first place? Man, y'all motherfuckers are just stupid, man. They just wanted to find a reason to blame Trump for any little fucking thing, and it didn't matter what it was, man. The pandemic was just a farce. It was just listen, if the pandemic did exist, I don't think it was as big as everyone making it to be. It was just a way for the government to seize control of the economy, and to be honest, Trump was never supposed to be the president of the United States. That shit that happened with Hillary Clinton was a fucking farce. I mean, it was something that was just like, it was something that was never supposed to happen. And they want to see to it that such a thing never happens ever fucking again. And so they used that pandemic to ruin all of Trump's efforts of how well the economy was going, fucked up the economy with the coronavirus shit, and then have Joe Biden, beat Trump. And then the thing is, with the election, you can tell that shit was rigged because, they had the mail voter ballots and all that shit. And it was, they were covering up, they weren't letting people. Oh my God, man. Listen, first of all, when you saw it on the television, Trump was in a very comfortable lead. And then all of a sudden the mail, just all of these people just started voting, and it was just a surge of just all this bullshit, They weren't letting people, they weren't letting people in. They were just basically hiding all of the ballots coming in. They wouldn't let people, man. And I heard in some instances, they had motherfuckers who weren't even alive fucking voting, dead people and shit, bro. People who weren't even alive. That fucking election was rigged, bro. I mean, you'd have to be a dumbass to not see that election wasn't rigged, bro. Because the thing is, man, it doesn't take that long to decide who the president is going to be. They have a set date on the president of the United States, and they made sure that they waited all that fucking long just so they could be like, you know what? They were trying to make sure that, they were delaying announcing the president of the United States because they wanted all of those false mail voter ballots to be sent in. And then it took about 2, 3, 4 days for them to finally announce that Joe Biden won. When I'm just like, it usually does not take that fucking long to decide who is going to win the president of the United States. It doesn't typically take that long at all. They used the pandemic to fuck up what Trump has done in the economy, to fuck up Trump's progress. They used the economy, they used the pandemic to fuck up Trump's progress, to steal the motherfucking election. And then with Kamala Harris, what they're doing is, Kamala Harris, she's over here agreeing with the policies that Trump is over here trying to implement the things in Trump's administration. She's having a lot of similarities to where she's implementing certain things that Trump was for. So it's like they wanted to ruin what Trump did to make the economy better, steal the election, and then impose the same policies that Trump was doing to make the country better, so then the Democrats could take all the fucking credit, man. And nobody gives a fuck about any of that because it's just like, well, Trump's a fucking racist and Kamala is just, she's a black woman. I mean, but most people vote electronically. Those in-mail voter ballot shit, that didn't even make any sense. Why the fuck are people voting through the mail? Like, nah, bro. This is a new age. People vote electronically, man. I voted electronically through the little podium shit or whatever, right? Or I went to the place. But, dude, everything was done on a fucking computer. And then there were several reports of people saying that when they were in the office to vote, there were a lot of people who were working there in the office, in the post office. They were hiding what they were doing. They wouldn't let the people see the ballots being counted. They wouldn't let people see shit. They were hiding what the fuck it is that they were doing. So people wouldn't see the deception. They were closing the blinds, making sure nobody would see anything, kicking people out who had cameras, all that shit, man. That pandemic was used to fuck up the economy, to destroy all of the progress that Donald Trump did to better the economy. Because when you have the economy thriving and a free market enterprise and shit, people are, that's less government control that they have. They fucked up businesses. They fucked up people's money. They're over here setting up curfews. This is just another way for them to fuck up with the economy, implement government control, and enact some form of semi-martial law over the American people. I mean, the thing is, Donald Trump, competing against Joe Biden, that was supposed to be the rematch of the century. Donald Trump destroyed Joe Biden in the first preliminary debate. And then right after that, he dropped out and was like, oh yeah, Kamala Harris, you tag in now. It's your turn. Like, what the fuck? Like, how are you just gonna do that? Like, that didn't even make sense. That's the thing. Joe Biden needed the pandemic to beat Donald Trump. And now it's 2024. He doesn't have the pandemic anymore. What can he use now? Now the second time around, things look bad. And now he's like, well, you know what? I'm going to drop out of the fucking race. And then I'm just going to use Kamala Harris to be my next president, to be the president. She didn't earn the shit on her own. She had it given to her. I hope she fucking loses, man. I want Donald Trump to destroy her, man. But I want to make another note to self about, about Kamala Harris and how I think, it's like a division between the black community. Black men and black women, there's a division between them, because of Kamala Harris. It's like black men are being forced to conform to vote for Kamala Harris because, it's like there's just a rise of black men leaving the Democratic plantation and becoming, Republicans because they're tired of the way they're being treated by the Democratic Party, And black women are large in part still in the Democratic Party. They're still voting Democrat. I remember last year when Donald Trump won, it was 20%. Yeah, see, Donald Trump had 20% of the black vote, which is pretty impressive, because it was like a lot of black men. It was an upsurge in black men who were voting for Donald Trump. But anyways, that's pretty much all I have to say for now, but until then, I'm out. Peace.